Good morning, early birds. Did I put my little clip in my hair? How is my clip not in my hair? I don't even know. Oh! Woo! That was tough getting on this morning. I had to set my alarm a little earlier. I was pooped. Set it for 7:25. It's too late if I want to do a few things. Like change my chalkboard, which I do. Okay, how are you? I do have to do that clip in my hair. I had it up and I didn't have a clip in my hands. Hold on. Oh, early birds. It's getting darker here in Michigan. All right, I know I put 60 clips in my purse yesterday. Okay, seriously, I dropped at least 2 clips in here. Of course. I cannot find them. There it is. But it's not because they walked off. That doesn't make any sense. Look at that. Look at that ridiculous looking thing. There we go. Now it's only half as ridiculous. I think Lucy went upstairs. It's so cold in this house. I have no heat. That's the problem. I have no heat. How about this top from the 1970s? Just about. It's about that old. It is. Okay. All right. So give me a second and I am going to be right back. I see somebody got on. So I need to say that. Okay, I'm going to do an imitation, okay? I'm going to do an imitation. I've never practiced it. I just thought it in my head when I was just doing it. I was just doing that a minute ago. Woo! Woo! Share! That's my share. Woo! Woo! She used to do that all the time with her hair. It came to my head when I just did that. Okay, early birds, let's get something going here, shall we? I did. I got the 2. We're on day 82, but we are not in the HMBS class, which is not about BS or HM. It's about healthy mind, body, spirit is what that's about. Of course. I've got to keep my little rag in there too so that I could, you know. We call it erase, Dr. Feravich. In English, that's erase. What's English? Is that a made-up language? And they tell us it's the most difficult language to learn on the planet? We're still doing grammar, of course. I hope you don't mind the slow pace of today. We're moving a little slower than we usually do. But that's okay. Who said we have to learn everything in a day? We might have to. Did that bastard Trump push a button he wasn't supposed to while intoxicated on his self-love? Is that what that asshole did? This is early birds. Can we keep the language at a minimum? Ugh. Yeah, it's Wednesday. That's fun day in my language. Wednesday is fun day. All right, yesterday we did, we went back to something because what we were doing is predicate adjectives, if you remember. And in doing predicate adjectives, what did we review? What we reviewed was linking verbs, and we also learned about predicates, simple subjects, although we didn't talk about simple subjects because we talked about complete subjects. But if we don't have a complete subject, but we still are talking about the subject of a sentence, not the subject of a profile, the subject of a sentence, then we're talking about simple subjects. I have a lens cleaner over there. I'm not going to get it. I'm just saying, I do. There it is. It's not over there. It's right there. And guess what? I am going to get it. Now, just because some privates might be in the video doesn't mean you have to zoom in on them. I'm going to get them over here. Don't be looking at my butt. See, early birds, when you get to be adults, adults really are not as sharp as they pretend to be. They're just not. Oh, this is whiteboard. Not sure what that's going to do to my... Oh, no, it just erased my lens. It just erased my prescription. Wah, wah. Did I say it's Wednesday fun day? I think I might have. Gosh, how could glasses... Look, it still smears and streaks. How could glasses be the hardest thing on the planet to clean? Even when you have an eyeglass cleaner. Oh, I'm not going to show. Yeah. Even when you have an eyeglass cleaner. I don't know. Okay. So, we learned about simple subjects, or we might have been reminded about them because we were talking about complete subjects and complete predicates. Let's take a quick look at this, shall we? Yeah, Dr. Feravich, because you are all over the board, and I'm not really quite sure what you're talking about. Oh, just hold your pants on. It'll all make sense. It'll all make sense in a single minute. Okay, now this you may not recognize or remember, and I just opened up a file that I had on my... Oh yeah, this is what we did yesterday. I'm sorry. You may not remember what we did yesterday, but the fact of the matter is, do you know, you might know this already. Let me get this up to a decent place. Is that was a worksheet we did before. I was looking through this past weekend and yesterday and today and all this. Hold on, I gotta get this. My eye is itching. I probably got chalk in it now. That we have done this before. And as I was going through this past weekend and working this past weekend, I was pulling up a lot of the worksheets because Twinkle was so wonderful and giving me, although I don't think this is a Twinkle worksheet. This is a education.com worksheet that I got. All of them I got free. So you could see with the little searching, which we're going to talk about in our class engagement today a little bit. When you are searching, when I was searching, I was looking through all of the worksheets that I had for you. And what I noticed was, what I probably needed to do was, I should probably put these in there too, shouldn't I? I don't want to break my chalk. Is that there's a lot of worksheets that we can do for review. Okay? So, we remembered or we were reminded about our simple subjects on this half of the sentence. On the other half of the sentence, we were reminded about complete predicates, right? What's a simple predicate? No. Verb. I know. I said it when I was in grammar school, right? I said it when I was in grammar school. Why is it called a simple subject and a complete subject and a complete predicate and a verb? They had no good answer. They said, be quiet, Annette, and do your work. Stop asking all of your ridiculous questions. They're ridiculous because we can't answer them. See? Don't think that third graders and second graders and whatever don't have good questions. You do. If they tell you it's not a good question and you think it's a pretty good question, and they didn't answer that question, that's because they couldn't answer your good question. That's what that's about. Those some people. They say some people's children. We say some people. Some people's children were raised by some people. So we say some people. That's what we say. Okay. So in all of this, we also identified some other adjectives, didn't we? What kind of lasagna? Vegetable lasagna. What kind of breeze? The breeze. That one right there. Right? So we are being specific. We are identifying something. Which breeze? The breeze. You're like, well, that doesn't tell me much. No, it does. I don't talk like the breeze that is happening currently at this time, which is warm and, whatever. Warming. No. Oh, warming. Warming. That's describing the breeze too. Warming. That's an adjective right there. Right? That's an adjective. Warming. The breeze. Warm and warming. Those are two different things too, right? A warming. Warm. Warming. Right? Got it? Because sometimes we need to talk in actions instead of with all this jibber jabber. Let's go. I know that on our title slide, we've got a few more things, like we're going into adverbs. I told you we're taking it slow. We are taking it slow. So, and in the meantime of taking it slow, we are really reviewing so many things. Another thing we reviewed here were linking verbs. Those are all linking verb. What? Smells? Smells is a linking verb? Yeah, smell. I just want to make sure that I had that right, that word right. Smells is a linking verb. Linking verbs describe, they link to an adjective that describes the noun, right? Or it can link to it, yeah. Yeah, it links to an adjective that describes the noun. An action verb, as opposed to a linking verb, links to often objects. What are they doing? They're doing something. They're doing something. What are they doing? Action verbs link to what are they doing? Linking verbs are also called verbs of being, right? Because they link to something about the being, something about the subject. See? So I'm explaining a little bit more about the verbiage to hopefully help you better understand how much you know, how much you actually have learned in grammar, and how much you actually know. So here we have wonderful things, right, that we've learned recently, like adjectives here. So the vegetable lasagna, it's not a meat lasagna, it's a vegetable lasagna. That's telling us about the kind of lasagna. But also we learned that delicious is also an adjective that describes the lasagna. We have a linking verb that links the subject, lasagna, to its adjective, which describes a noun, to its adjective that describes the noun, and we've learned that it's linked by a verb of being or a linking verb. Look at all that you have learned. Look at all that you've learned in grammar. And again, don't forget, subject, verb, complete subject, complete predicate. You also learned that. Let me see what I've got. I was wondering what was in blue there. Look at what's in blue there. What do we have in blue? In the cold weather. In the cold weather. What is that? What is in the cold weather? Or we could also say, hold on 1 second here. We could also say, if you weren't sure I'll give you another example. Oops, I didn't get all of it. In the sun. I'll give you another example. And they're all using the same one in the sentence. What are those? What are those? I'm trying to look for a different one now to see if I have a different one, because I have another one here. In the wash, but they're all using in. What is in? Oops, I didn't show you here. In the wash. So I'm looking at some other ones here too as well, but I'm only finding the same example. What is in? What is in? In is, hold on, I'm bringing it up. Oh, I'm almost sure I have it here. Hold on. Oh, I don't have it here. Okay, it's a different one. I thought I was gonna bring up the list, but I don't have it open here. In is, were you saying it? Were you saying it anyway? I know after all that you've been screaming at me, haven't you? I'm sorry, I'm not listening. I can't hear you. I'm sorry. In is a preposition. It's a preposition. So see all the things that we have learned. Let's take a look at another sheet here. Hold on. That I have pulled up here. Okay, so this is a worksheet that I have from, this is also from education.com. So let me show you what I've got here. And this was one of the worksheets that I was reviewing. Oh, they don't have a nice cover sheet here. But you can see education.com. And what this is this is a, I believe it's a, third grade grammar packet. A third grade grammar packet that I got from education.com. I'm sorry for the humming of the heater in the background. I always hate that. When I listen to it, whenever I listen to some of these, I hate that humming of that heater in the background. But there's nothing I can do about it since my heat has been off for 2 weeks. So this, as I said, hold on. I gotta get my... is the third grade grammar packet, and look at the things that we are gonna go over these. So if you feel like you've missed a lot, or that you didn't get it, or that maybe you were a little haphazard in is that okay there? Yeah. Or maybe you were a little bit haphazard in actually getting things done like you were supposed to. That's okay. Look at all this that we are going to do for a review. So subject, verb, agreement. The 4 aliens eat or eats green goo inside their spaceship. The 4 aliens, and if you remember, this is just a little bit of a review, but if you remember, let's see here. When we have a plural on the end of our subject, we also, I'm going to have to blow it up again. We do not have the plural on the end of our verb, right? So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to get this line here, and this line we're going to change to red. Let me see what you can see. Oh, good, you can see it. And so I'm going to, where it's not the S, right? So the S here, I am going to do that again. The S here, if we have an S on the end of our subject, we do not use the verb with the S on the end of it, all right? So I'm just going to use it that way, all right, instead of putting an X there. Subject pronouns. So here we've got using subject pronouns that include he, she, we, they, and it. So dad and I, that would be the subject pronoun what? Let's change that color so we can just see it a little bit better. What color do you want? What'd you say? You want pink? Okay. We made breakfast. So dad and I is changed to we, right? So I'm not going to go over all these reviews. We did this a while ago, if you remember, and now it's not fully, got another one down there, complete, but we did this a while ago, including here is where we did the predicate adjectives. A long time ago, we did these predicate adjectives. We also did present simple tense of these verbs. So we've done already a lot of this review. Now, there were some more that we read all those for you to do on your own. And here we've got, again, our subject-verb agreement, which we didn't do. I want to see if I did any other ones. So here are some other things that we're going to be working on for a review. Here, circle the action and linking verbs. We talked about this, although we didn't complete it. But this is something that we are going to do. Here's our A. Here's our A for when we have an action verb. And here's our L for when we have a linking verb. Circle the verb in each sentence. And then put an A for an action verb or an L for a linking verb. So these are things, these are worksheets and grammar concepts that we've been working on all along in the classroom. We're on day 82 now. So you can find, we're almost done. We're almost done with all of our parts of speech. What I wanted to do there was to show you that we still have, a lot to review to show that there was a lot that we have learned. Okay, what happened to adverbs, Dr. Feravich? We are getting to those. Since we've talked so much about adjectives, but I want to do one more worksheet on the adjectives, okay? Oops, not that. Hold on, I haven't looked this. I forgot what this is called. That. It's got to be this one. It's not. There we go. Okay, I remember now. Sorry. I've got all these worksheets up and open on my my desktop for you, but then I have to find them, and that's not as easy as you might think it is supposed to be. Okay, so what I wanted to go to next was, I wanted to go to, so look at even compound sentences, all of these. But what I wanted to go to is this. So we could get one more exercise on adjectives. So an adjective describes a noun. We were looking at adjectives that described a subject, right, with our linking verbs. Here we've got an exercise that can help you think a little bit more about different types of adjectives or words that are acting as adjectives. An adjective describes a noun. It tells you which, what kind, what color, or how many. For example, I have 2 dogs. 2 tells me how many, and so 2 TWO, right? That kind of 2. TWO. What color is our circle going to be now? What color do you want it? Purple? Okay. Let's get purple. How's that? Lighter? Lighter purple? A little bit lighter? How's that? Okay. So we learned yesterday in our class about the differences between the 3 twos, didn't we? Let's get this a little bit bigger for you, or a lot bigger. So TWO, let's take a look at that, what we learned yesterday. So we learned about the 3 different twos. TO is a preposition, right, to the store. TOO means also, as in, will you come with me too? Will you come with me too? I want to go to the store too. Also, right? Will you come with me also? Will you come with me too? Can I go to the store too? Can I ride in the front seat too? Also. And TWO is to the number 2, which is 1 more than 1. 1 more than 1 is what? If I add 1 to 1, 1 more than 1 is 2. So here we've got the TWO, right? I have 2 dogs. Where's the adjective in the next example? It is telling me what color, right? Let's move over here. What color? And so I know when there's a word telling me what color, that word is an adjective. So I have a color here. What kind of dog is it? It's a brown dog. What it's telling me the color. Which dog did you pet? The brown dog. We also know that the is also an adjective, don't we? We sure do. We sure do. It's telling us about which dog, the dog. What color? Brown. Tells us about the dog. Okay. We took a ride on a big blue sailboat. Big describes the noun. Which noun does big describe? What is the noun that big describes? Big describes the noun. Uh-oh, I didn't get that where I wanted it. Sailboat. There's the noun sailboat. Now it says write the noun that each adjective describes, but I'm going to just circle that noun. Blue also describes the sailboat. It's telling us about what kind of sailboat. What kind of sailboat? It's a blue sailboat and it's a big sailboat, right? So we've got 3 adjectives there: cloudy, dark, and gray. Those are the 3 adjectives in, let me get a line there. I'm gonna get a line, and that line is gonna be red now. Cloudy. Oh, what was that? Dark. I don't like my lines being extra long, as you can see. I'm a little OCD about both straight lines and having my lines be not extra long. And gray. Those are our adjectives: cloudy, dark, and gray. What are they describing? Well, that's pretty easy. Once you see all the adjectives, you know exactly what is cloudy, dark, and gray. The sky, right? So we could follow the directions and put our nouns in the blanks. Because some people prefer following directions. Exactly. And that's a good thing to do. That's a really good habit to make, to follow directions exactly. I wanted to point out a few things, but it's a really good habit to follow those exactly. So for those of you who like to follow directions exactly, we've got our noun now in the blank. All right, let's go ahead and do the next one. The strong wind scared me, but the brave captain kept us safe. So strong describes the noun. Now we've got something different going on here, don't we? It describes the noun wind. What kind of wind? What was strong? I should ask it that way. What was strong? The wind was strong. What was brave? What was brave? The captain was brave, right? So just to stay in line with what we have been doing, the wind was strong. And the captain was brave. Where's our adjectives? Where's our adjectives in that sentence? Our adjectives are strong. Strong what? Strong wind. And brave. Brave what? Brave captain. All right, you have one more there. We saw many large birds, including 2 albatrosses. Large describes the noun what? Large what? 2 describes the noun what? 2 what? And then circle the adjectives that describe the noun in bold. Hint: there may be more than one adjective for each noun. So what words in the first sentence, "I like the pink flowers best," describes flowers? Which word or words describes flowers? They live in the small green house on the corner. House is the noun. Which word or words describe house? We ordered a large pizza. Pizza is the noun. Which word or words describe the noun pizza? Jenna went on a 2-week vacation. Vacation is the noun. What word or words describe the noun vacation? The book was long, but it was interesting. The noun is book. What word or words describe the noun book? Thank you to education.com for that wonderful worksheet that I just am enjoying so much doing with you. And not only that, all those worksheets, and not only do I enjoy doing those worksheets with you, but has given me such an organized approach, even though that was a little disorganized, wasn't it? We still haven't gotten, and what is she talking about? What was the last thing that we were supposed to discuss here? Where are my titles? I don't even know. Oh, wrong one. What else were we supposed to discuss here? Comparatives. So we haven't even gotten to adverbs yet. All we've done is adjectives, but you know what I bet? I bet you really have great knowledge on adjectives. I bet you've got that down. Most students do. It's a pretty easy thing. However, most students cannot identify that the, and an, those articles are also adjectives. Most people probably wouldn't know that. In fact, I had to have a review on it. That's how I know most people wouldn't know. Because I didn't know. I didn't remember. I knew, I didn't remember. That's what they were, adjectives. So you know that about adjectives as well. You also know that some adjectives come from linking verbs, right? They're still adjectives, but they come as a result of linking it back to the subject. They're describing the subject of the sentence. So we learned about adjectives for sure, but we learned a lot more than most people know about adjectives. Adverbs coming up. You know we're going to do a grammar week 3, right? Until we're going to keep doing grammar until we've diagrammed sentences. This is Dr. Annette Feravich. I'm the teacher. You are here on day 82 of the Early Bird Classroom. I love my chalkboard. I want to kiss it. I love it so much I want to kiss it. Thanks for joining me.